Haley Tucker is going to tell us about the wonder of learning.
Alright, this is kind of a public service announcement. There's an exhibit at the museum, the New Mexico Museum of Natural History and Science, and it is about the wonder of learning and the 100 languages of children, and it's completely free. So I do say you should pay to get into the rest of the museum because it will open you up to this, the wonders of the world. For centuries, we study ourselves. We are so amazed by what we can do. We look at our ancient buildings and see the beauty and the science, and then in our own lives, we go back and we realize at the beginning, we were explorers. We were not afraid to put everything in our mouth, and taste everything, and touch everything. And then we begin to create, and begin to look at how our internal environment and our external environment kind of get along, and we make huge messes. We discover our 100 languages. The languages of water, the languages of paint, the languages of metal, the languages of smiles, the languages, and I can keep going on and on and on and never stop. But there are some times in our lives where it's not really fun and it's not very pretty and there's a lot of destruction going on. And this is after World War II in Italy, where there was a lot of destruction. And some women were walking and they saw some children and they're like, this is not a school. We need to build you a school, and we need to build you a new school with new ideas that doesn't turn into complete destruction. So they started to look at the science between the human being and the environment and how it's connected. They started to look at the idea that things can be beautiful and children can still learn. So they decided to look into aesthetics and ethics and relationships. Relationships between learning, relationships between teaching, relationships between their environment. And this guy came along. His name is Boris Malaguzzi. He was a scholar, a very smart guy. And he started taking notes on what the teachers were learning from the students, while the teachers were taking notes on what the students were learning. And they collaborated, and they discussed, and they built these communities of schools in a little town called Reggio Emilia, Italy. And this is now called the Reggio Emilia approach. And at the very, very heart of this approach is the child. And not the child as, well, they don't know anything, they're just a little child, but the child as a strong, rich, powerful, competent being. One who's curious, one who wants to know, one who can learn and become the protagonist of their own learning. One where there is an authority telling them what to know, but teachers show what a student can learn by their own wonderment and amazement and curiosity. They then document what children do in the process of learning. So not like take a test and look what's known, but the process of learning. And they made an exhibit called The Wonder of Learning, the 100 Languages of Children. And it's from Reggio Emilia, Italy, and it's a pedagogical documentation. And it goes all over the world. And it shows what children, very young children, are capable of. And it shows the learning process and the cognitive processes children naturally develop as they wonder. And there are some women and some men from New Mexico who are like, you know, we should bring this over to New Mexico. And so they got together with the Italian women and they discussed the importance of building community in New Mexico. So the New Mexico Museum of Natural History, St. Joseph's Community Health, and the Wonder of Learning Collaborative all got together and they're like, let's show New Mexico how amazing their children are. So they brought this exhibit to the museum. It will be there till December. And children are more than welcome to come and be engaged. Teachers, please come. Parents, educators, legislators, all come. Here's some resources if you want to learn more. Yeah.